This is the Lyndsay Stafford Show.
Welcome to the Lyndsay Stafford Show. You are listening to the Lyndsay Stafford Show featuring local legends here in Middle Tennessee. And today I have with me Katie Nicholson, owner of Luxe Palm Aesthetics Med Spa, which is right here in Franklin, right? We're in Franklin?
Yes.
Yeah, in Franklin, Tennessee. And she's got some fun stories for us. But I love this show and interviewing entrepreneurs, hearing about their journey, what they've gone through, what they've learned from. What advice do they have for an aspiring entrepreneur or a young entrepreneur? But Katie falls into an interesting category because she is young. She's in her late 20s. We've had some folks on here that are in that same category. And to me, it's fascinating. So I'm in my early 40s, which means we're in a very different, I think I am still Gen X, Z, Y.
I don't even know
K?
the generation.
I am a millennial. That's right. My producer.
I'm a
Sorry, you're
millennial.
So,
There
but
we
we're
go.
on total opposite.
I think
I'm 42.
I'm the very last year of it.
And I'm like the very first year
Yeah.
of it. So I'm 42. I was born in 82 and you're 27,
Mhm.
which is kind of crazy, but we both technically are millennials. Yeah. Cause I think the cutoff was like 82, 83, 82. Yeah. So I'm also a millennial, but I didn't grow up with a cell phone in my hand or Facebook, right? When I was young, when I was married, I've been married 19 years this year. When we first got married, MySpace was the only
Oh
thing
yeah.
that was there.
MySpace was just starting and it was like a cutoff. We were like in middle school. We're like,
Yeah.
what is MySpace? This is weird.
Yeah, this is
So-
weird. Then Facebook came.
And
then
then we were using Skype. That was like
Yes.
our FaceTime now, but video.
Yes, you're
video
right.
chatting on your computer.
Totally.
Skype.
Well, we're old
Mhm.
enough that in 09, I think the first iPhone came out in 08, I believe. I could be wrong. It's like right in that range. But my daughter was, no, I'm sorry. It was 06. We got married in 06. My daughter was born in 07. And I remember distinctly, I bought this TV. Now it's a flat screen. This is so crazy. It's a Sony flat screen, like big TV. And we were newly married, had a baby, no money at all, like broke as the joke. And I think we got a tax return that year. And I bought this TV for my husband.
Mhm.
But I bought it from my sister's roommate. He drove it from Boston to Vermont, which is where we were living in Burlington, and brought it to the house. And I think I paid $1,000, which was a ton. And I'm not saying $1,000 isn't a lot of money, but it was like a lot of money for us. And he had an iPhone. And I remember telling my husband, like, the guy, whoever we bought it from, he was selling it to get money to buy an engagement ring for his girlfriend. So it
Aw.
was so cute. But he had
Yeah.
just bought this TV. And he had an iPhone. And I remember saying to my husband, why would anyone need a computer as a phone? This is so weird.
Because
So
it was all
that's
like the flip phones, like
Yes,
the little
that's what we
buttons
had,
and
like the
stuff,
flip
yeah.
phone. Anyways, fun fact, that TV is still hanging in my son's room today, and it works better than any of our other TVs. Our house was struck by lightning. The driveway was struck by lightning, so we lost all of our entire surround sound in the house. Almost every TV, that TV survived. So the Sony flat screen, it's heavy. It's like old school, but it still looks fine and it works great. And it was, it's 20 years old.
That TV
Almost
needs
20
to
years.
stay with you forever now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So funny. So I can't remember. I said we got married in 06. My daughter was born in 07. Ben was born in 09. I'm pretty sure the iPhone came out in 06. Yeah. Jim, my producer's checking my facts here, but something like that. Yeah. So anyways, we are on total opposite ends of the spectrum. But what I love when I get to interview, not only do I love interviewing female entrepreneurs because the majority of business owners are male, it just is what it is, but in their late 20s and you've made this decision and built this business at such a young age, but you had such confidence in doing it. And I've had the honor of knowing you for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I can hear some of your story and I'm excited to share that with everybody. So Katie, can you tell us a little bit about you and how you got started?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Nashville, born and raised. I feel like there's not a lot of people that are born and raised.
You deserve a plaque for that.
I know everyone's like, oh, you're the unicorn. I'm like, yes, I'm the unicorn of Nashville. I love it. I'm gonna stay here forever. That's my excuse now. I'm going to stay here in Nashville that I have my business and then I'll just keep traveling instead of moving somewhere else. I originally wanted to move actually to Florida to open my business and everything after college, but then COVID happened. So then I ended up staying.
Did
in
you go to
Nashville.
Florida?
So I actually did my esthetician license
That's what
in
I thought,
Florida.
yeah.
And then also in Tennessee, just in case I stayed here. Thank goodness I did because here I am. So I'm glad I have my license in both states. So if anything, I do move to Florida, open a second franchise or something like that, then I have both. I don't have to transfer license.
Where'd
or
you go to
anything.
school?
So I went to University of Tennessee in Knoxville, did my business, got my business degree there. And then, which is also funny, you say a lot of men are owners of businesses, because it was like 10-20% females in my classes. And it was very intimidating sitting there speaking in front of all these men as just, a young little college female. And then all these men, thinking they're all these big guys there. And then I went to Boca Beauty Academy in Boca Raton. Fell in love with Boca Raton. It's so nice and bougie down there.
I need to go. I've never been.
I said, this is where I want to move to and open my little business and all that. Still might one day. And then I got my second license in Tennessee in Knoxville at, oh my gosh, I'm blanking the name. I actually saw the owner's son last night. And he was like,
of
oh my
course
gosh,
you can't.
yeah. And now I can't remember the name.
Well, that's okay. It'll come to you.
Yes, it'll come
to you.
But so I got I don't remember the name.
So you have your license in Florida and then came back to Tennessee.
Yes.
And how did you know you wanted to start your own business?
So ever since I was like 15, 16, maybe even younger, I've always been super interested in skincare, beauty, all of that. So I knew I wanted to do something in that field. I've always been more of an entrepreneur. I used to make my own like clothing line in high school. I'd buy jeans from Goodwill and I'd cut them up, use a cheese grater, shred them up, bleach them, and call them apple bottom jeans.
Oh,
so
gosh.
I was selling them online.
How old were you?
Like a freshman, sophomore in high school.
Okay, so there was that song that said
apple bottom jeans from Fergie or something like that.
Yes, I remember. We were living in our first house, which was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It was half of a duplex. We only owned half. We did not own both. And my daughter in the kitchen listening, like wanting to dance to that song.
Yeah, it was my favorite song back then. So I named my little jean company Apple Bottom Jeans.
So cute.
I just loved being crafty and all that. So then after that, then I knew I always did makeup and would make little potions of perfumes and lip glosses from my parents' pantry. So I was like, I know I want to get into the skincare business, but didn't really know exactly where to go. So I went to Harpeth Hall. It's an all-girls college prep school here in Nashville and Green Hills.
Yeah.
And they have a thing called Winterim where you get to intern with different businesses depending on your interest. So I interned with a dermatologist and then a med spa. So I got to like narrow down exactly what I wanted to do. So by my senior year of high school, I knew this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a medical esthetician. I'm going to go to business school at UT, and then I'm going to get my esthetician license. So I actually did them at the same time. So when I finished my 4 years of business school, I was done with all my schooling and could start working.
So impressive.
Wow. Yeah.
So you knew early, but you obviously had some good opportunities, because most people don't have the opportunity to go learn those things when they're still in high school.
Right.
So I find most folks end up going to college. They really don't know what they want to do, or they think they know just because it's this career equals this income or salary,
right,
or this freedom, or they saw somebody do it and they thought that would be cool, but they don't really have a good understanding. You obviously did. What impact did your home life with your family have on that and encouraging that?
So I'm an only child and my parents are older. They had me at 42 and 48. So they were more, relaxed. My mom had retired when she had me. So she was always focusing on, helping me with school and what I wanted to do after college and help me figure out my path. I was actually the 6th or 7th generation at Harpeth Hall. So with that being said, it's very, studious. People I feel like know what they want to do after they graduate from Harpeth Hall. I feel like I cried almost every single night. That's how hard it was. So it really pushed me.
At school, did you get good grades?
I feel like I was a good B.C. student at Harpeth Hall, but it was so hard that you couldn't even take like multiple APs or honors, because it was the regular classes are already like an AP and honor at a regular school. So it was very difficult. It's funny. I thought I was just maybe really bad at school because it was so difficult. And then I went to UT and did the business school, which is also pretty hard there. And I was getting almost straight A's. So I was like, oh, Harpeth Hall really did train me and get me ready for college. And then I was like, maybe I am okay at school. It's just the school that pushed me to do good. So
intense.
And I'm glad I did. So I feel like and I went there from 6th grade to 12th grade. So I feel like being pushed so much with my studies really helped me, be a go-getter and want to be an entrepreneur and achieve my goal of opening a business one day. And so I worked with a medical spa, Wax Spot Skin Studio in Charlotte, over on Charlotte in Nashville, worked there for about a year and a half. And then I was like, you know what? I have all my ideas. Let's just go ahead and do it.
And you took the leap. So
I did it.
Were your parents entrepreneurs?
My mom and dad were not, but my grandfather was. Both grandfathers were. On my mom's side, he started his own dentist practice. He was a dentist. And then on my dad's side, he opened the Nicholson's Hi-Fi, which was like a stereo TV place back in the day.
Probably sold the big Sony TV. That was
all the
up in my
Sonys. Yeah, the one that's at your
son's
house.
wall.
Probably the
It's
same
still
place. So both grandfathers were. So I feel like I got a little bit from them on both sides.
Yeah, and your parents are probably a little more accepting of that. I think it's more widely accepted in today's world versus when I was coming out. In fact, I didn't even want to go to college. I was like,
Right.
I don't like school. I don't want to go to college. I did because it was like I was the oldest and they were like, you're going, so just pick a school. I mean, I only applied to 3 schools. And I'm glad that I went. I went to Suffolk University and majored in marketing, business management. But
I did business management too.
you did?
Yeah.
I mean, it just made sense to me. I was like, all right, I'll do marketing and business. And
I did business management and then entrepreneurship because I was like, I know, this is
you
what I
knew.
need.
So, but then I really just wanted to like start my own business. And it was like, no, you go get a job. And I'm not saying my parents like didn't give me options, but I think today's world, it is more encouraged.
Right.
And maybe just the social media aspect of it has changed things. The fact that we have that as an influence, but maybe your parents were more open because
they actually didn't really, I don't want to say they didn't believe in me, but my dad, he was a hedge fund manager, very, very smart. He was valedictorian at MBA, went to Vanderbilt and Stanford. So he's very, very smart in his ways. And my mom was more of the, their party girl, not the smart girl. So I kind of got a little bit of both on each side. But they definitely pushed me to go work for someone else right out of school. So I did. I worked for someone else, but the way they had it structured was all commission based. So it really pushed me to have to get my own clientele in order to make money. If I sit there and I'm not, marketing myself or promoting, telling people what I do, then I'm going to sit there and not get paid and not make any money. So I am really appreciative that the first job I ever had, I've never been an employee. I've always been a contractor. So you right away learn your taxes. You got to figure out how to do it. And then you have to learn how to market, push yourself, and get clientele. But still, even when I told them I wanted to start my own business, they were like, no, like, we really think you should go work for so-and-so or blah, or this plastic surgeon so you can be under them and learn from them. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to be told what to do. I'm a good leader and I'm, disciplined. I feel like I get my work done. I've already done really well working as just a contractor and figuring it out on my own. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start my own business. And so they said, okay, we'll see if you can. And they just kind of laid low and I just did the whole thing on my own. I didn't ask them a single question. With my dad knowing everything and being so smart, I said, no, I'm going to figure it out on my own. And it was during COVID, so about a year after COVID. So I had a lot of time to sit there and think, what business am I, what's the name am I going to pick? And then do I need an LLC, sole proprietor? Like I had to figure it all out.
How did you find all that out? Because one of the things I do is provide those resources for people. But most aspiring business owners, that gets so scary.
Right.
It's like even the thought of how do I start a business, just getting a business license.
Oh, I know. I just
intimidating.
Did a lot of research. I feel like it was pretty fun for me to figure out all that on my own. Because I like doing research. If I'm interested in a topic, I love the research.
And this was early 20s.
I was
for you.
24, about to turn 25.
Yeah, so early mid 20s.
Yes.
Okay.
But ever since I was starting my new, like the first the first job I ever had, I knew this was just going to be for a little bit, and then I'm going to start my business once I have a little bit of
clients,
experience
that you can
and clients and all that.
Yeah.
And I told my boss then, I said, thank you for hiring me, but like my end goal is to actually open my own thing one day. So she knew from the get-go.
Yeah, it's smart.
So I was always open and honest about that. But yeah, so once I started it, and then I told my parents like, hey, I started my business. I have my clientele. I've sent out the emails. I have the name. I have the business license, all that. They said, okay, well, if you change your mind, you can go work for so-and-so plastic surgeon. I said, that would be nice, but I'm doing it. And then I stuck with it.
And the rest is history. So talk about that leap of, when you start when you're young, which is so amazing to have that freedom and flexibility because you're not tied down with a spouse or children or pets or a mortgage or anything like that. Because were you living at home when that happened?
So no, actually right after college, my parents said, nope, you're not going to move back home. You're going to figure it out. So I actually ended up living at my parents' friend's second house that was like right next to theirs. Their main house is in La Jolla,
Okay.
California. So it was nice. I just stayed there and paid their utilities because they own the house. I didn't have to pay rent for about 6 months. So that really helped me financially
Yeah.
to work, get money. And then after 6 months, then I got my own place. So I never moved back home after college during COVID. I was very independent with all that.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to ever leave.
I know it's either parents want them to stay or they're like, please do not come home.
My daughter's a junior and she is going to go to Aveda. She wants to do hair and she wants to have her own salon, but she is going to go work for someone else
The
first.
Aveda here in Franklin?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, so she's not leaving. We're like, you have a car that you don't pay for. Like you have a home to live in. You know, just focus on school, making money to buy a house someday. And but I don't ever want my kids to leave. So I hope they come back and stay. My husband's like, come on, like they need to go. But I genuinely enjoy spending time with them. So it's a win for me when they're there. But so you were able to make this decision, and it sounds like you had support, but it wasn't like you had everyone going, yes, you can do this.
Yeah.
We got you. You still probably face some challenges of, I got to prove them wrong. Did that fuel you, the proving yourself?
Yeah, it felt great. I said, you know what? I have all this set up already. I think it only took me about 2 or 3 weeks to get everything from like starting from the very beginning of, okay, how do I even start a business to actually starting the business and moving my stuff in to a suite. So I was just go every single day, morning to night. And I feel like the girl who really helped me start her name's Carly Fletcher. She also has her own business, Fletcher's Aesthetics. I think we've talked about her before.
Yeah.
She does microblading. She's been doing it, I think, for 6 years now. She's from California, moved here. She was actually renting at the old place I was working. And so I was telling her, you know, I wanted to open my own thing. So she was pushing me to do it. I feel like I got a lot of drive from her, especially someone being my own age and having her own business for, 2-3 years before me. So she actually knew somebody, and that's where we are now, in the same suite over in the Aspen Grove Medical Plaza, that had an extra few rooms that we were able to rent out. So we went in together, and we're actually still working together after 2.5 years.
Amazing. And you guys have moved locations
so
together,
we
right?
moved over in the Aspen Grove Medical Plaza, and then we moved somewhere else over in
still in Franklin,
Brentwood
Cool
area. Springs area, about 10 minutes away. And then now we're back in the same location, now taking over 2 rooms. Now I have a laser room and then a facial room since I've added on some contractors to my business. So
yeah, so I want to talk about that, scaling your business. I was a keynote speaker last week doing on scaling your business, talking to some business owners there. And it's something that's been, as I shared with you prior to this, like such a hot topic right now for me, is just how you scale your business. It's something I've been talking to a lot of businesses that I do fractional work for with. And I'm curious, at such a young age, at what point did you know that it was time to scale? And did you prep for that? Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So I feel like I was working just for myself. I liked that it was just me. I didn't have to, micromanage or do any of that. But I noticed that I was just making the same amount each month. Very comfortable, very happy with all that, able to pay all the bills, save money, spend money, all of that. But I was ready for a jump. I'm like, you know what? I've been doing this for 2 years. Let's start making more money, passive income. And also wanted to start bringing on a team because I'm so passionate about what I do that I wanted to teach other girls the way that I do everything. Because my clients always tell me, like, you always put so much effort and I always love coming to you, and they keep coming back. So I know I'm doing something different, something special. So I wanted to teach other girls the way that the Luxe Palm way. And so the first girl that I hired as a contractor, also not contractor, not employee, so that way they can have their own independence too, the way that I had it in my first job. She actually worked with me at the old location. So I already knew her. I knew that she was great worker and everything. And so she came on, she was my first contractor. And then my eyelash girl, actually, we would always talk about when she was doing my eyelashes, how I wanted to bring on people. And she said, you know what? I want to do laser too. So then she came on to my team. So now she's doing laser. She's doing laser hair removal. The other girl, she's doing every service. And then one of my best friends, actually from middle school, we've been friends ever since. She was actually one of my clients for 2 years. She came and got her eyelashes and brows done. And she said, you love your job. I want to do what you're doing. So she was a real estate agent. So she literally stopped doing that, went to esthetician school here at Aveda, and wanted to get trained by me. And so I loved that. I felt very special that, my best friend and client wanted to come get trained with how I do everything. And then I ended up hiring her to start working with me. And so now I have my cute little team of girls doing all the skincare and laser and brows.
And it's so fun.
Yeah.
And you're loving it. So what did you put in place to make sure that besides, so I see the value in 1099 contractors versus employees too. But I think some people, when they think about scaling their business, they don't understand that option.
Right.
Talk a little bit about why you chose that option.
So I'm not 100% on knowing every single thing about employee and 1099s, but I do know from what other people have told me that if you are an independent, having your small own business, not a big corporation or anything like that, you're starting small, you have your own little space, it's a lot easier on the owner to have contractors. You have to obviously let them know, you get to pick your hours, pick your times, all this. You give them a commission. It's a lot more flexible on them, easier, and it pushes them to want to bring in clientele, especially if you're not this huge business where you're getting 100 calls a day. And I liked the way that it was set up for me too that way. And then I also don't have to deal with employee taxes. That's something that I did not want to do.
Yeah,
because taxes are not fun.
Thing.
So, and I feel like I'm not there yet with having somebody come in, from 9 to 5 on an hourly pay. I'd rather them come in when they want and they can be on commission because they can also I ended up making way more commission wise because I was, hustling over here trying to get my clients in. So I feel like commission pay is a lot more rewarding for everyone than just an hourly pay. You just sit there and you're bored when you can.
I think it's so fascinating because I have conversations with people about commission-based work and society tells you that that's not smart. Go get a job where somebody tells you how much you make.
Right.
And it's so mind-boggling to me that there's this backwards way of thinking. And I'm not dissing a salaried or hourly pay. There's a place for that. And some people are built for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I had several years as an employee and I wouldn't give up the experience that I took from working for big corporations, taking $17 million markets and turning them into $24 million markets and $45 million markets and turning them into $55 million markets, in a couple of years' time. And the experience that I had doing that, those set me up for what I do now in helping small to mid-sized businesses and solopreneurs. So I appreciate that. And there's a place for it. But I think it's so twisted that it's you go to college and then you go get a job and work for somebody else and have them tell you how much you're making.
Right. And
then you just take the raise and the 1%, 2%, 3% every year that you get, and you just keep going with where they tell you to go. And while that works for some people, not everybody fits that mold.
Right.
Some people want to say, no, I want to decide when I work and how much I get paid and how much is right for me. And I to me, that is just the foundation of you. When you eat what you kill, you're going to work harder. So commission-based work is going to push you to be the best version of yourself and to work the hardest because you make more money when you work harder versus
instead of, if you're hourly, you say you worked really, really hard that day, you're still making the same amount as the day you're just sitting there not doing anything.
100%.
So.
I remember being in my corporate role and I was at the top of, my performance had always been phenomenal. I delivered great results and I was always getting merit increases every year, but I was at the top. I was at the top of the compensation. There was no more increases.
Right.
You're going to work for this unless you take a bigger role, which means you got to make life changes because that means you're going to travel more and do all these things. And it's well, what's the incentive? And I'm going to work hard no matter what. Probably just like you. Either way, I'm going to do like you did at school. You're not going to get paid for that.
Right.
But you're still going to do your best work when you're there. And for me, it was why am I working so hard for somebody else? If I did this for myself, I'd be making so much money. I love commission-based work. I think it's smart.
I know. I only like commission-based work, probably because I've only worked commission-based.
Yeah.
But I love it because it really pushed me. I'd get so excited. And I even told my old boss, this is how much I made today. This is what I got. And it's I got my books fully booked after, 3 months of working because I was out everywhere at a coffee shop. I'm picking up pizza and I'm telling people, handing them my business cards. This is what I do.
And your menu, I have it somewhere.
It's rewarding when you just love what you do and you talk about it with everyone and then they want to come see you and it's cha-ching.
Yeah, give a great experience. You get paid for it.
Exactly.
So what do you say to someone who's hesitant, maybe not to start their business, maybe we're not going there yet, but maybe it's just they're hesitant to even explore commission-based work in a space that they want to grow in. So obviously commission-based work in a space you don't care about,
Right.
or that you don't have any future in, that may not be right for you. But if it's a space that you're like, you know what, I get to learn and grow and have the opportunity, what made you make that decision? What would you say to somebody?
Like for someone that's never worked commission
Yeah.
before. So like for me, I've never worked commission before. I had no idea about anything, but my old boss was a great mentor on showing me all the ropes of like, this is what you do. This is how you can get clients. This is how taxes work. This is what you can write off. This is what you can't write off. So because I had that mentorship from her, it really made me feel comfortable and like, okay, this may be a really good fit for me.
Mhm.
Also because I loved what I was doing. You have to love what you're doing if you're going to work commission, but you also need that good mentor to kind of guide you. If you don't have that, then you're lost. That's what I've noticed with all the contractors that I've hired. I mean, we're all literally about the same age, which is funny. It's like, I don't want to be a boss. I don't feel like a boss. Like we're all working together. That's what I like. I don't want to be like that boss setting, but I like being their mentor and giving them instruction and guidance on this is how you can do it. And this is how you can grow and achieve and be successful.
The best leaders are the ones that don't really want to be in charge. They
Right.
just want to help
They just want to help.
be the chaos coordinator,
Right.
and help people grow and mentors. So one of the things I always say is when you are trying to achieve a goal or create a business or whatever you're going after, having a mentor is part of it. And
Right.
it can be the differentiating factor. When I look at my portfolio of businesses that I work with as clients in one way, shape, or form, we do lots of things: advertising, coaching, and consulting work, and fractional work, and all those areas of my organization. The business owners that are most successful are the ones that have a coach, a business coach, and or a mentor. So if you don't have a mentor, so if you're in that boat, you're listening to this and you're like, well, I'd love to do that, but I don't have a mentor, then go find one. Go hire someone to be a coach.
That's how I am. I feel like my old boss was my mentor, and then I've just been on my own mentoring other people, teaching other people, training them and everything. But now I'm ready to have that mentor because I'm ready to,
Take your
I'm always looking
business to
for
the next level.
I'm always looking
Yeah.
for change and improvements. Every month I'll come up with different specials or what can I add on to the business and purchase to bring into facials to make it more luxurious and different from, anywhere else that you can go. Because there's 100 medical spas, it's all about the practitioner.
Within a 4-mile range,
Oh,
there's 100.
I know. So it's all about the practitioner. Every single person is different with their work, with how they do it. So I'm always thinking of new ways to come up with or new products to buy. But it would be nice to have a mentor too. So if there's anyone out there that wants to mentor me.
Everyone needs that.
Yeah.
You get to a point in your business where you need to invest in hiring a coach, a business coach, or a mentor that can put you in a position. I remember at one point I reached out to an old high school friend who's experienced a lot of success and was very successful in high school and very successful after. And I said, hey, you've done this thing and built this business that I've never done that. Would you mentor me? Like, I
Right.
want to know what you did, and
Right.
I want you to look at what I'm doing and tell me where I need to go. And people don't do that because of two reasons. One, they don't want to pay someone to do it.
Right.
Or number two, their ego takes over.
Yeah,
and
they get a little stubborn with it and they think they can do it all on their own.
They don't. Well, I know more. And so if
Right.
you're in that camp, not you, if the listener, if you're, and I know enough, then your business is not going to be successful
And it's
long
not going to
term.
keep improving. It's just going to stay
Right.
stagnant on where it is.
Right.
So my long-term goal, actually, I might have told you before, but ever since I started my business, I wanted to open a beach club. I used to go to Europe every summer with my family, and we'd stay on the beach, and they'd have all these little
I do
pop-up
remember
beach
you
clubs.
saying that.
And I remember going there as just a little kid and then growing up and being an adult. It was just so luxurious. You go in there, you eat your food, you're laying in the cabanas. They have nice chill music. Not the Miami party clubs, but the very relaxing bohemian
Like a luxurious
style.
one.
But they didn't have anything. I think one place had little huts where you can get massages in, and I love that idea.
Oh, I love that.
So I want to incorporate like a medical spa. Obviously, you can't be doing microneedling and laser and then go walk out and get, lay in a cabana. So some kind of good mix of, nice relaxing facials with, the nice luxurious beach club. So I really that's my end goal. So for that, I have had a few little mentors here and there trying to help me and push me make that goal happen. But that's a little outside my comfort zone of how do I get to that point?
What's the path? And that, it's so interesting. We can talk offline about that some, but what's so interesting to me is I'm thinking of two, and I won't say who they are, but two businesses that I work with who are phenomenal. I mean, they are like amazing. They have an incredible business plan. They're on the right path. They've surrounded themselves with the right people. They're seeing the growth, and they're just great humans. And you know, one of them that I'm talking about that actually is the reason we're connected. But they're just phenomenal humans that are doing the right thing. But you know what? I think about them, and then I can look at all the businesses I work with and say the ones that have an environment of mentors or community that does what they do, and or a coach that's helping them along the way, blow the ceiling off of their competitors because they're just able to move so much faster and more intentional and minimize the mistakes that they make.
Right.
Because you learn from somebody else's mistakes. I would like to come to your beach club, so I would like you to make that happen.
I know, I need to make it happen.
Because I would like to go.
Well, let me know when you're going to open it, because then I'll be your interior. Like, one of my best friends has her own interior designer business. She actually moved down to the Boca Raton area. We both talked about moving down there. I said, I'll meet you there soon. And then I'm still not there. So she's moved down there. I know.
Just bring her here.
And she met her now husband. She just got married. So she's like, all right, come on. When are you moving down?
She's not leaving.
Nope. She's staying down there. She's ready for me to move down there and open my beach club so she can design the whole thing.
I'm ready to go to your beach club too.
That's just the hard part for me, is that I've already started my business here. I have my clientele. Everything is very comfortable. Comfortable is not what you want as a business. You want to keep going. So
some people do.
Yes.
There are people who are very comfortable being very comfortable.
But it's like, for me, I'm stuck on, okay, how do I, because obviously you'd have to move somewhere to a beach to open this beach club spa.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'm stuck.
Or just bring in sand.
Yeah, that's true. You could bring it into
you could
Nashville.
just bring in sand. Somewhere in Nashville, we went to Margarita Fest years ago. We've gone to several times. We didn't go this past year. I forget. I think we were actually in the Dominican Republic when it was happening. But there's like a little parking lot that it's not close to Luxe Palm Beach Club will be. Yeah. This is like a parking lot with some sand in it.
Wait, where's this located?
In Nashville somewhere.
Wait, I've seen this. Is this in between like an intersection, and it's just a little fence
and there's
with
an Italian restaurant right there.
I've seen that. I think it's been like closed down for a year now or something. I don't know if they've torn it down, but I
don't go out to Nashville very often, and I didn't have a reason to go near this location anytime in the recent days. Actually, I was in Nashville this week, but I go for business events and meetings, not necessarily beach in the middle of
beach sandbox in the middle of intersection.
But I'm just saying, you could create it.
Another thing I did in my entrepreneur classes, every single one that I did was something for my beach club. I think all my classmates were like, all right, come up with like a new thing already. And I was like, no, this is what I'm doing. I'm making something out of it, a beach club or a medical spa. And then I did. But when I was looking up ways to actually make it happen, you can't actually own land or rent land like on the sand. Most of the businesses, I feel like along the coast, it's more inland, and then they'll just put chairs out or something, but you can't actually build the structure on the sand. So after looking into that and saying, okay, it's not really possible, maybe you just have to partner with a hotel or partner with a condo or something like that. But I think I got a little down after noticing 2 years of researching and that
feeling stuck.
It's a little different than how it is in Europe, when you can actually just build this cute little hut on the sand, and then it's not like that. It's different here.
I'm so confident that you're going to make it happen, though.
I know, one day.
Oh, it's going to happen. I think about all that you've accomplished. So what's next for Luxe Palm this year in 2025?
Well, so I just hired my fourth contractor. One of the girls ended up having to move back to Arkansas. I've had 4 contractors, 3 right now, since I just hired her. I have a few other girls that also have their own business doing aesthetics that are super interested in laser. So I think, and I love teaching and mentoring, even though now I need my own mentor. So I think this year I'm going to start focusing more on classes and teaching other estheticians how to do, master classes.
Yeah.
Laser, hair removal, IPLs, skin resurfacing, lash lifts, all that. So I've had the interest from other estheticians. So I think I'm going to focus on making a course for teaching other estheticians how to do that. So that's my plan. That's my plan this year.
I'm excited for you. That's really exciting stuff. Tell everybody, Katie, where do we find you?
So you can find me. Our Instagram is Luxe Palm Aesthetics. And then we just made a TikTok. I'm not a big fan of TikTok, but now that TikTok is back, we just made
Will it stay? I don't know.
We don't know. So I feel like that's how a lot of people find, businesses is
Sure.
social media. So we're like, you know what? Let's make some fun, cute videos of our services and our clients and our contractors. And so we just made a Luxe Palm Aesthetics TikTok for
Nice.
fun videos. And then you can book all of your services on Vagaro. We don't have an actual website because Vagaro is a great platform and we have all of our information on there. So yeah, Vagaro
So go to Luxe
and
Palm
Instagram. Yep, just Luxe Palm Aesthetics. You can type it on Google and then all the platforms will pop up there.
And you're in Franklin, Tennessee?
Mm-hmm. We're in Franklin in Aspen Grove, the
Yep.
Aspen Grove Medical Plaza.
So my last final question for you, Katie, is what advice would you give somebody who wants to take that leap of faith and start something of their own, but they're scared to do it?
I would say definitely sit on it, think on it. I know a lot of people will make some very quick, indecisive decisions. Maybe the right ones, maybe the wrong ones. So definitely sit on it, think on it, make sure you're 100,000% comfortable, and then just do it. If it doesn't work out, it's okay.
Plan for it and then do
Plan
it.
for it, but most of the time, if you're so passionate about it, then it'll work out.
And do it ugly. Just start doing it and you'll
Just start
figure
doing
it
it,
out.
and don't listen to other people's opinions. Like your friends, your husband, your boyfriend, whoever is saying you can't do it or it's going to fail or you can make more money here. Just don't listen to them. Just do what you want to do.
Shut them out. You can still love them from a distance during that time period.
Yeah, because it's about
great advice.
You and your growth. If you have an idea and you have that entrepreneurial mind, just do it. Maybe they're jealous that they can't do it.
Lots of different reasons, right? But I love the advice of get a plan. Make sure you do your due diligence before you just jump in. It's not like you're going to all of a sudden go, you know what? I'm going to invest $500,000 in this thing I don't know anything about. Make your plan and then ignore all of the commentary along the way.
And then another big thing is start small. So I think the big thing for my parents, why they were so worried is they thought I was going to put down $100,000 loan for something. I actually started my business with only $150, $200 and then just worked my way up from there, buying all my products, buying all the supplies, necessities. So I didn't have to put down any loans. I didn't have to borrow any money. You can start small and then work your way up. I feel like that's the best way to do it if you're wanting to grow instead of, I have this idea to make this huge business. Let me borrow $1 million. And then you're in debt for years, Start small and then start growing. That's
Love it. Great advice, Katie. And beautiful skin.
Thank you.
Luxe Palm Aesthetics. Katie, thanks for being with us today. And to all of our listeners, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Lyndsay Stafford Show. We want you to like, share, comment, repost. What am I missing? Review and rate. Yes, please do all of those. Review, rate. Sometime, I just told Jim last episode, we're going to get a teleprompter, so don't forget. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great day.